She slammed her car door so hard, the side mirror actually fell off. That's how mad she was, and it was all because I parked my truck in my own driveway. Yep, you heard that right. This whole chaos started because I had the audacity to park my own truck in my own driveway. And before you think I'm exaggerating, let me take you through the full roller coaster of what went down. I live in a nice, quiet suburban neighborhood. Well, it was quiet until about 6 months ago when we got a new HOA president named Linda. If you've ever met someone who takes a little power way too seriously, multiply that by 10, add a megaphone, and you've got Linda. She ran for HOA president unopposed because no one else wanted the job. Honestly, I didn't even care at the time. But oh, how I should have. Within weeks, she started implementing rules that weren't in any official handbook. Like, no basketball hoops visible from the street, trash cans must be inside the garage by 7:01 a.m., and the craziest one, driveways must remain clear unless actively entering or exiting. I thought that last one was a joke, until it wasn't. It was a Saturday morning. I was doing some garage cleaning, and my truck was parked just halfway into the driveway. Not on the sidewalk. Not blocking traffic. Just chilling there, like any normal vehicle. Out of nowhere, I hear honking. Repetitive. Aggressive. Annoying. I walk out, and there's Linda in her beige Lexus, parked at the foot of my driveway, honking like she's late for a royal coronation. She rolls down her window and yells, "You can't block your own driveway." That's a safety violation and a community disturbance. I laughed. I thought she was kidding. "Linda, it's my driveway." She gets out, storms over in her fancy sandals, points to her little HOA clipboard, and says, "It clearly states in the new policy, driveways must remain unobstructed at all times." I ask her calmly, "Where is that in the HOA bylaws?" She freezes for half a second, then blurts out, "It was an emergency addition passed by the board." Spoiler alert, there is no board. It's just her and her 2 cats, probably. At this point, I'm over it. I tell her, "Linda, unless you're delivering pizza or you're my Uber, I don't see why you're even near my driveway." She gets red-faced and says, "I have the authority to inspect properties." Okay, now I know she's lost it. I reply, "Well, Inspector Linda, today is not inspection day. Please move along." She storms back to her car, makes a dramatic U-turn, and then parks directly across my driveway, completely blocking it. I kid you not, she gets out, folds her arms, and says, "If you're going to break the rules, so am I. Let's see how you like being blocked in." Oh, it's on now. I told her I was going to call the cops if she didn't move. She actually laughed and said, "Go ahead. I'm on the HOA. They'll side with me." Okay, challenge accepted. I walked back inside, called the local non-emergency line, and explained what was happening. The dispatcher legit chuckled and said, "So your HOA president blocked you in your own driveway because she's mad you were in your own driveway." "Exactly," I said. They sent someone over. About 10 minutes later, Officer Daniels pulls up. Super chill guy. He walks up to me and asks what's going on. I explain everything, pointing at Linda's car that's still blocking me in. And then, "I swear this is real," he says, "So you're telling me she's parked illegally to protest you parking legally?" I nod. He walks over to Linda and says, "Ma'am, is this your vehicle?" She says proudly, "Yes, I'm the HOA president. I'm enforcing our rules." He asks her for ID and registration. She snaps, "Why? I'm not the one breaking the law." Officer Daniels raises an eyebrow and goes, "Actually, you are. You're illegally blocking a driveway, which is a city code violation. Doesn't matter if it's your own or not, and this isn't yours." Linda tries to argue that as HOA president, she has authority. Daniels responds, "You don't have more authority than city law, ma'am. Please move your vehicle." And that's when she loses it. Linda starts yelling about how this neighborhood is going downhill, and people like me don't respect order, and even throws in a back of my day. Meanwhile, Officer Daniels and I just exchange glances like we're in a sitcom. He says calmly, "Ma'am, if you don't move your vehicle right now, I'll have to issue you a citation and possibly call a tow truck." Her face turns purple. She yells, "Fine," marches to her car, opens the door, and slams it so hard the mirror falls off. I'm standing there trying not to burst out laughing. Daniels can't help himself. He lets out a chuckle and says, "Well, that's one way to express yourself." Linda finally drives off, but not before shouting, "This isn't over." Officer Daniels turns to me and says, "Man, I've seen some wild HOA drama, but this? Top 5 easy." I thank him for coming out, and he gives me a friendly warning. You're good to park in your driveway. Just maybe avoid talking to her if you can help it. Trust me, I planned on it. A few days later, I got a passive-aggressive letter from the HOA, clearly written by Linda, saying that disruptive interactions with HOA officials may result in fines. I framed it. It's hanging in my garage. Oh, and remember that whole emergency policy she made up? Turns out, she never filed it officially, and at the next community meeting, which I definitely attended, I brought it up. Everyone voted to remove her as president. She stormed out of that meeting, too. But hey, now my truck can rest easy in its rightful place. Don't mess with people over imaginary rules, especially if they know their rights better than you do. Seriously, if there's one thing I learned from this ridiculous saga, it's that a clipboard and a fake title don't actually give you power. Knowledge does. And in this case, city codes and common sense won the battle. Linda thought she could bully her way into making the neighborhood follow whatever popped into her head at 3 a.m. But the moment someone pushed back, legally, respectfully, and with a smile, her little HOA empire started to crumble. Now, I'm not anti-HOA. They can actually be useful when they're run by reasonable people who care about the community. But when someone like Linda gets control, it turns into the Purge, Suburbia Edition. And let's be real, every neighborhood has a Linda. That one person who takes things way too seriously, shows up to every meeting with a binder thicker than a phone book, and acts like they're the sheriff of a town with 4 streets and a playground. But here's the thing, you don't have to stoop to their level. Stay calm, stay polite, and stay within your rights. Because nothing is more satisfying than watching someone freak out while you remain completely unbothered. Honestly, when Officer Daniels laughed that day, it felt like karma had pulled up in a police cruiser. And it didn't stop there. After that whole driveway drama, I started documenting everything. I took pictures, saved emails, recorded meetings. And when it came time for the next HOA vote, guess who decided to finally get involved? Yep, me and half the neighborhood. Turns out, I wasn't the only one tired of Linda's imaginary rules. People had stories. So many stories. Like the time she tried to fine a neighbor $100 for planting flowers that were too bright. Or when she knocked on someone's door at 9 p.m. to complain about a Halloween decoration being inappropriate. It was literally just a skeleton in a lawn chair. So at that meeting, we all showed up. We voted. And just like that, Linda was out. Removed as president. Democracy in action, folks. She didn't take it well, obviously. She stormed out of the room, again, muttering about ungrateful neighbors and consequences. But as far as I know, she's been keeping a much lower profile since then. Probably still fuming in her beige Lexus. And me? I still park my truck in the driveway. Proudly. Sometimes I even wash it slowly on Saturday mornings, just in case she's watching from her window. If you're dealing with HOA drama, don't panic. Know your bylaws. Know your rights. And most importantly, don't let someone intimidate you with fake authority. These neighborhoods are supposed to be communities, not tiny dictatorships. Keep documentation. Take photos. Be polite, even when you want to scream. Because eventually the truth and the law catches up with people like Linda. So yeah, keep your phone handy. You never know when your driveway might turn into the stage for the next suburban soap opera.